Hey, welcome back. Now let's continue with the metrics to measure the success of GRC practices. It will reduce six things. It will reduce the redundant controls, the duplicate controls. For each function, we have different procedures. Just because it is a different function, what we will have is we will have the same controls again and again. So instead of having that, if we integrate the functions, we will get rid of the redundant controls. It will save us time. So the next point is the related time to execute audit test. As there are less controls to evaluate, it will save our time to do audit testing. Then also it will reduce the control failures in all key areas. Which control failures we are talking about? There are three types of controls: preventive, detective, corrective. These control failures in all areas will be reduced if we implement COBIT. Then it will reduce our legal, regulatory, and review expenditure. How it will reduce it? We already have a system in place that makes sure that all the compliance requirements have been met or not. So you don't need further insight, or you don't need to get extra efforts or external confirmation for this. You are using COBIT. It is already a best practice. So you need not worry about getting external confirmations again. After that, it will reduce your overall time for audit. It will also, COBIT also helps auditing. It gives the insight to the auditor. These are the procedures you have to use if you want to do a better performance of your services. Then the last point is reduction in time by automation of control and compliance measures. As we discussed in the above points, controls will be reduced, compliance measures will be automated, so you need not worry about legal compliances and all once you install COBIT. So 6 things it will reduce. Here mostly we are talking about time, then duplicate controls, then control failures, and legal expenditure. So these are the 6 things which will reduce if you are using COBIT. And then it will improve 2 things. It will improve your streamlining processes. This is what we are talking about: common database, common data flow, and common language. And then it will also improve your timely reporting of compliance issues. You will now report in a bit meaningful manner, and as we already have the practices and all, it will also give you further insight of what actions you must take on those issues. So it will improve your reporting. Then it gives a dashboard. Okay, it gives a dashboard of overall compliance status. There will be a checklist. These are the requirements. You have completed this much. These measures remaining. After that, they will give you the percentage of compliance completed. So this dashboard, it can be seen throughout the organization. So we know what the overall compliance status is. After that, we also see what are the key issues to the senior management on real-time basis. That if a incident has occurred in the organization, then it will appear on the dashboard that these are the key issues which are bothering the senior management. You need to take care of this. It will be available on the screen on real-time basis. So you will also have a dashboard of what to do in case of such incidents. Now, if after implementing COBIT, you are not able to reduce these 6 things, and you are not able to improve these 2 things, and you don't have a dashboard, then it means the COBIT 5 which you have implemented, it was not a successful implementation. Or if you have implemented it, it is not effective as it is expected. So these are the metrics to measure your success of GRC practices. It just mention we don't have to explain these metrics in exam. Just mention them. Now we are looking in detail what are the contents of COVID-5. Okay, now we are trying to divide that framework into processes and all. What are the processes in it? What is the nature of those processes? This is the only question that will give you a further insight of what is COVID-5. First, let's again revise what is governance. It is a mechanism to enable multiple stakeholders to evaluate options, set directions, monitor compliance and performance. Why we are doing this? To achieve enterprise objectives. So this is a basic capital budgeting wala definition of governance. Now, what are the governance processes in the COVID-5? This is the content of the framework. We have seen what are the key governance practices, what are the main points in it, evaluate, direct, monitor. So these are the same practices that will be used in COVID-5. There are total 5 processes. We need not know what are the processes. Just remember this number. There are 5 processes of governance in COVID-5. When we were talking about risk management, we saw that it is a 5 governance process. What was the 5 governance process? Can anyone tell me?
Understand, identify, monitor, analyze, and no, it's not monitor, it's manage. Identify and manage. Understand, analyze, and one more thing.
Articulate.
Okay. Identify, understand, articulate, communicate, and manage.
Manage.
Okay. IUACM. So these are the 5 processes. Okay, we have already also seen the processes and all. We are not supposed to do that, but still we have done it. Okay, so in the framework of COVID-5, in relation to governance component, these are the 5 processes we have discussed. What is the nature of these processes? We will evaluate, direct, and monitor whether these processes are done or not correctly. So this was the governance component. Now let's see what is the management component. There are only 2 components in this COVID-5 framework. One is governance and one is management. Now let's see what is management. It is the responsibility of executive management. Now this management needs to have interaction with the governance processes. Why it needs to have interaction? So that we can have an efficient and effective governance system. Who is going to evaluate whether the governance is effective or not? Management. So we need management also. See, now these management processes are in very detail. Now these we don't have to learn. Just remember, first one is align, plan, and organize. There are 13 processes to ensure that your strategies are aligned, planning, and organizing. So the first part is talking about IT strategic planning. IT strategic planning. After that, build, acquire, and implement. 10 processes. This is basically your chapter number 5. Whatever controls or software you are building, how to build them, acquire, and implement. After that, deliver, service, support. 6 processes for deliver, service, and support. This is your operational level processes. And then monitor, evaluate, and assess. This is just like evaluate, direct, monitor. Instead of that, evaluate, assess, and monitor. These are the 3 processes. So this is like just like governance process. The last part. Okay, you can remember this by A.B. de Villiers management. A.B. de Villiers management. What is ABD? Align, build, deliver, monitor. Align, build, deliver, monitor. And I have given the processes in a descending order: 13, 10, 6, 3. Okay, in MCQs they can ask whether 32 processes are there in management or governance. You have to say they are in the management. and then they will ask specifically how many processes are there for align. Then you have to say, you have to remember ABDM and 13.10.6.3, so that you can answer those questions. ABDM 13.10.6.3. Now they will not interchange the words as if it is align, plan, and organize, they will not ask organize, plan, and align, because that is how we are dividing that framework. Okay, now tell me, which is the latest version of the COBIT? Is it COBIT 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have the latest version is now COBIT 2019. After COBIT 5, the latest version is COBIT 2019. Now what they have done is, they are also including now social media engineering in COBIT 5, because now the organizations are having the social media presence. So now COBIT 5 will also make sure that, okay, you don't have to write this information in exam, just write whatever there is in study material. I'm just giving some additional information. So for social media management and advertising and all, now we also have COBIT for that. It is just a marketing involvement. Okay, we are just going to discuss in this session about COBIT. These are the last two questions in relation to COBIT. After this, COBIT is over. System assurance part, we will finish in the next session. And then we will start with chapter number 3, that is the protection of information systems. Okay, so these are the last two questions. What are the benefits of COBIT 5? First one is achieving GRC objectives. What is GRC? Governance, risk management, and compliance objectives. That is why we are calling COBIT control objectives, so that we can achieve GRC objectives. Then it creates optimal value. Okay, there is no other framework that creates optimal value like COBIT. COBIT is the only all-in-one solution which is globally accepted and recommended by experts. Then end-to-end process. We just saw in the 5 principles. It covers enterprise end-to-end. It covers all the function, all the business processes, and not just that, it also gives advice and guidance of how to improve those processes. Then it ensures privacy, security, continuity. See, this framework was developed by the best experts, so it is a bit sophisticated in relation to privacy, security, and continuity also. We have already seen that it can do information security. Then clear policy development. Clear policy development. We have studied what is the organization structure, what is the culture and all. So we know the enablers. It will help us in clear policy development. It will obviously increase the user satisfaction, and it is useful for all enterprises. Okay, whatever size, nature may be the organization, it can be used in all the enterprises. But remember, COBIT 5 is a bit expensive if you are thinking about expansion and all, and the compliance and all, it is taking up too much of your time and you don't have the enough insight, only then go for COBIT. But it will also help a small organization improvement if you are using COBIT 5. Then the last question is COBIT 5 process reference model. We just saw that the two processes, governance process and management processes, in that in detail what are the contents of governance process and what are the contents of management process. So these details are given in this process reference model. We are talking about what are the contents of process reference model. In process reference model, we have what are the processes, how many processes are there, and what are its components. Okay, tell me, this process reference model, is it a point of principle or is it point of component?
Components.
Components, okay. Then you have to say that it is a common understandable model. Okay, common database, common data flow, common language. So it is commonly understood. Then it is a complete comprehensive model. It is covering all the functions, all the areas. That is why we have a complete, we are calling it a complete comprehensive model. And then it is a framework for GRC. Here you have to mention all the points in the customization of COVID file. That it is a framework for governance, management of IT, then a risk management, then assurance activities, information security, financial reporting, financial processing, and CSR reporting. You have to mention that it is a framework for all those things. So this is a question for process reference model. Okay, we built the concept yesterday of COVID. That is why we were able to complete all the questions related to COVID faster. Or in the next session, we will have a system assurance. There are only 2 to 3 questions in relation to that. After this, your chapter number 1 is over. Okay, we will stop now. In the next session, we will take system assurance and we will start with chapter number 3, that is protection of information system. In chapter number 3, we will have a lot of controls and all. So make sure you understand chapter number 3 fully, because these are the controls that we have to audit once we become. Okay. Any queries you have for COVID or any other question we took till yesterday? Just remember the concept and you can.
So when a question is asked about what are the types of risk, it is just the inherent risk and detection risk and those aspects, right, sir? And when they asked about the types of strategy,
yes, there are only
it
3
is
types of risks. Yes, question. Please, can you repeat the question?
no. When my question is, when they ask what are the types of risk, we have to write about the inherent risk and detection risk and control risk. Am I right, sir?
Yes.
And when I suppose and types of risk categories, then we have to write treat, tolerate, turn back, transfer.
Yes, those are strategies.
Okay.
They will ask specifically what are the risk management strategies. Okay, it is a specific question. Now, similar to that, there is a question sources of risks. Okay, it is not types of risk; it is sources of risks.
I have that down.
Yes, sir. Can anyone tell me sources of risks? We had that photo beside that question. Tell me.
Political, economic, technological.
So you have understood, you are able to tell at least 3 points, even without preparation.
Tsunami, natural event.
Yes.
Natural event.
Then you come to yourself, individual activities, then management activities, and then behavior, human behavior.
C and F.
Commercial relationship. Yes, those are the only points. Okay, if you want to remember, you can remember it as first PET, political circumstances, economic circumstances, technological relationships. Then you come to yourself, individual activities, then management activities, then human behavior, and then in the end you can write commercial relationship. Okay, yes, and also natural event. Okay,
So how the question will be asked, sir? What are the sources of risk, or
plain question. Explain the sources of risks, or write down the sources of risk. Plain question will be there. It is not a subjective question. You have to write what the sources are. Now, how do you have to understand whether it is a subjective question? Now, this benefits of COVID-5. This point, increased user satisfaction. It is also point. Here, increased user satisfaction. It is also a point for need for COVID-5. So you have to understand that benefits is a subjective question, but need is a specific question. Yes, any other queries? Okay, now I will ask a question. Tell me for which function I'm asking that question. IT steering committee.
functions? Functions of IT.
Review
We have
and monitor IT deployment projects. Review IS plans and budgets. Review and monitor strategies, policies, and procedures.
Ensure long-term and short-term range.
yes, their tuning. We have to see their tuning.
Tune to the enterprise goals and objectives. Then you have F2, facilitate IT security. Then facilitate
Resolving conflicts of interest and ensure viable communication.
communication.
Okay, so are you guys confident with chapter number 1 now? At content covered till now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, prepare it. Today we are not taking any further questions so that you can focus on chapter 1 today again. Make sure now see, you can without referring, you can answer two or 3 points. If you do it again today, you will be able to answer 5 to 6 questions, 5 to 6 points. If you do it again tomorrow, you can understand what I'm saying. The more revisions you do, the more points you can tell. But also don't get exhausted. Don't waste more time in ISCA. You also have other subjects, DT, IDT and all. Okay, the mapping and the techniques that I'm using, you can use it for DT and IDT also. It is very helpful. If you have that kind of symbols and all for each chapter, it will also increase your interest and you will connect more with the subject. Okay, we'll stop here now. Hello, thank you everyone.